Have you no decency, Democrats? I mean, there's a McCarthy term for you right there, right? I don't understand how this turned to a scandal. And the reason is because it's not a scandal at all. But listen, this is straight out of the Alinsky handbook. Never let a crisis go to waste. And even if there is no crisis, let's make one up. The fact that there is nothing here at all has not stopped Democrats from calling for his resignation, calling for his recusal. I'm talking about Jeff Sessions now, and claiming that there's all these revelations linking Trump, his campaign, to Russia. Come now. Has anyone seen any real proof yet? We've been talking about this for months on end. And to then claim later on that the approval of firing then FBI Director Comey, while recusing himself from the Russian investigation, is somehow a breach of protocol. I am astonished. To say that a man gives up all supervisory authority because he has recused himself from one investigation is absolute crap. It shows a fundamental lack of understanding, a lack of three-dimensional thinking when you think about it. Let's think for a second together, shall we? How many investigations is going on actively right now with the FBI across the nation? Hundreds? Thousands? By replacing James Comey, do these investigations stop on a dime? Does everything halt because the head of the Bureau is gone? No, of course not. The wheels keep turning. The same people on the ground are doing the same things regardless of whoever's in the front of the organization. And by the way, when the Department of Justice is overseeing the FBI to see how it runs overall, to whether it's being run properly and efficiently, the man who recused himself from one investigation does not relinquish that authority. And even so, the direct supervisor of the director of the FBI, Rod Rosenstein, created an entire memo detailing the reasons for recommending the firing of James Comey. It's all there in black and white. All Jeff Sessions did was adopt that reasoning, approve of the memo, and pass it on up the chain. That's not evidence of any sort of breach of protocol or collusion or anything like that. In fact, you know what? If any actual evidence emerges of some kind of wrongdoing, I say let's have it out. Let the facts let the facts lead us. That's what I do when I prosecute my cases as a plaintiff's attorney. Let the facts lead the investigation. Don't lead the investigation to the conclusion that you want. That's a fundamental mistake that Senate Democrats are making right now. But again, let's not let a good scandal go to waste here. It's time to call this what it is right now. When it comes to Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, this was a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt perpetrated not only by Senate Democrats, but by a willing and able accomplice. One might even call it an appendage to the Democrat Party, and that's the media. We all know, we've all seen it. We talked about it in the last segment. Could have Jeff Sessions had been clearer in what he said about meeting this Russian ambassador, Sergei Kislyak, in his Senate office as a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee? He could have. But why should he have to? There were others who met with Kislyak. We don't see them being called to the carpet. I mean, there's a story in the Washington Post that details Senator Mary Landrieu, Senators Marie Cantwell, Bob Casey, Jack Reed, Sheldon Whitehouse, Claire McCaskill. They all met with Kislyak. Because that's what they're supposed to be doing as members of this committee. Why aren't we calling them to find out if they colluded with Russia? Because it just so happens that those people, they're not part of the Trump administration. They're not Republican. Guess what laundry they wear? Guess what jerseys they wear? The blue ones with the donkey on it. That's what it comes down to, folks. This is a partisan witch hunt that very closely resembles the same type of witch hunt of McCarthyism. I don't think I'm using too much hyperbole here, but we're doing all this investigating based upon fake news stories, based upon unsubstantiated dossiers, based upon fake emails even, that the FBI director may have known were fake, and that's a whole other story for a whole other show. But we're doing all this based on nothing except suspicion and sour grapes. A whole big grip of them. Because at the end of the day, Democrats and the media cannot get over that they were wrong. They cannot get over that Hillary Clinton lost. There has to be some reason other than the reasoning that is already out there, that Hillary was a bad candidate, that she didn't do her job, that she did not go to the states where she should have gone, that she wasn't a good campaigner, that she was scandal-scarred herself. No amount of collusion between media and party could save her. And they're still coming to grips with that 8 months after an election and almost 6 months into a term of a president. It's a bit sad. It's time to move on to governing. And with that, I think it's time to revisit the denial of one Hillary Clinton. Put into song. Gene Bardelli, Behind Enemy Lines, listen to this and then we'll have a few words and we'll come back and we'll wrap this show up. Behind Enemy Lines, we'll be back right after this.
Top secret data purloined by a gremlin. Misdeeds exposed with some help from the Kremlin. WikiLeaks published the emails we tossed. These are a few of the reasons I lost. Draft beer and vino and vodka martini all disappear like I'm freaking Houdini. It's not a secret I like to get sauced. These are a few of the reasons I lost. Girls in blue dresses with DNA traces. Bill has me threaten the girls he embraces. With my assistance he's free to accost. These are a few of the reasons I lost. When I'm lying, testifying, I concoct a tale. I look for excuses and others to blame, and then I won't go to jail. Tantrums and breakdowns and fake tears with tissues, obvious signs of some medical issues, fainting and stumbling and eyes that go crossed. These are a few of the reasons I lost. Because of my gender, I think I've been slighted. There's a good chance that I may be indicted. Image as cold as a New England frost. These are a few of the reasons I lost. Currency laundered through Clinton Foundation. Influence peddling that threatens our nation. All the offenses I've seemed to amass. These are the reasons that Trump kicked my ass. When I'm lying, testifying, I concoct a tale. I look for excuses and others to blame, but I still may go to jail.
I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome.
You know?
Hey folks, I just want to let you know about a great opportunity for listeners of Behind Enemy Lines Radio. If you go to our website, www.behindenemylinesradio.us, and click on the SaneBox ad on the right side of the page, you will get a great opportunity for a discounted offer to join SaneBox. SaneBox filters out all the unimportant email from your inbox so that you can really focus on what matters. If you're anything like me, folks, you get hundreds of pieces of email a day, not many of which is important. SaneBox's Smart Filter will get everything you need to fly through your inbox and finally make email work for you. It gets rid of spam emails, it deprioritizes emails that aren't as important to you, and it helps you unsubscribe from mailing lists and individual senders with ease. So again, go to www.behindenemylinesradio.us and you click on the SaneBox ad and you'll be given an exclusive offer you won't find anywhere else. Time for a little music. We call this, What the F*** is Maxine Waters Saying?
To be clear, you believe it would have been better to keep in place an FBI director who you said had no credibility to oversee this investigation than to find someone who you think would be a better choice?
No. But I believe the president thought that. Don't forget. You're talking about what some Democrats said, what I said, but don't forget, he was the president. The president supported him. You had confidence in him. It was within his power. And
but you said he had no credibility, so it would seem to make sense that he should get rid of him.
No. Under investigation, this president basically has interfered with an investigation where he may be implicated. That's outrageous, and that's why we're having so much of a conversation about it today.
The bottom line is that you think an FBI director without credibility would have been best served in this position to try to pursue this investigation.
I think if the president had fired him when he first came in, he would not have to be in a position now where he's trying to make up a story about why it does not meet the smell test.
Yeah, something smells all right.
Understood. So if Hillary Clinton had won the White House, would you have recommended that she fire FBI Director James Comey?
Well, let me tell you something. If she had won the White House, I believe that given what he did to her and what he tried to do, she should have fired him.
So she should have fired him, but he shouldn't have fired him. This is why I'm confused.
No, you're not confused.
Yes I am. Gene Baradelli, back behind enemy lines. Enough of the fun and frivolity that was all well and good. I have to tell you guys something, a personal confession. I have a new legal hero. Justice Rehnquist was always a hero of mine. Justice Scalia was always a hero of mine. I have found a new hero recently in Justice Gorsuch. But I have to say, this new legal hero has stepped up to the plate in a big way in taking down false, liberal, mainstream media narratives. Her name? Elizabeth Price Foley, a Harvard-educated constitutional law professor, who this week, since the Comey hearing to now, has taken down the liberal narrative of obstruction of justice being even on the table when it comes to President Trump and his actions with firing former FBI Director James Comey. Take a listen to this takedown of a liberal-leaning question from MSDNC. The host's name is Yasmin Vazogovian. I can't pronounce it. I'm not even going to try to. But listen to the question and the verbal wrecked. She's wrecked. She wrecked her, and that's all there is to it. Take a listen.
As a president, I mean, you're the president of the United States. You can't necessarily protect a friend. This is a man that you appointed the NSA. Once you appoint a man to the NSA, you can't treat him as a friend.
Look, I mean, there's many layers.
And really, where are the checks and balances there, if in fact that's true?
Well, political accountability to the people via elections and or impeachment. That's the accountability. So to the extent that people want to try to make this obstruction of justice, there's a million different layers why this is not technically obstruction of justice, either as a statutory matter or a constitutional matter. But this point, particularly about a corrupt intent, is even worse because think about it. The president also has the authority under Article 2 of the Constitution to pardon people. But we don't say, for example, that the president can't pardon a certain person because he has a corrupt intent. president. He likes the guy. He's known him for a long time, therefore he can't pardon him. The pardon power, like the power to head the investigative or rest of the executive branch, like the FBI, like the DOJ, is a plenary discretionary authority of the president.